Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is 1990s things that are no longer around. I just made it into the 90s. I am April 1999. So yeah, I just made it into being a 90s baby, if that even counts. But I guess it does because that's the year I was born. So yeah, if you guys could like and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. Also, I'm just going to quickly mention, just before we get into this video, we have a GoFundMe, which is top link in the description, to bring us back to America. If you want to donate, or you can donate, obviously it is never expected, but always appreciated. If you don't want to and you don't care, just skip 5 seconds. But yeah, thank you so much for your support. Let's get into the video. 1990 things that are no longer around. What have we got?
To some, the 1990s may not seem that long ago, but the decade has been gone for 25 years now. Many of the things we grew to love are now a thing of the past. In this video, we will take a look back at some 1990s things that are no longer around. Over the years, there have been plenty of discontinued candies that we once loved but are now gone.
Okay.
And the 1990s certainly had its share. One of the biggest from the decade are the Butterfinger BBs. These bite-sized Butterfinger balls were easy to pop into your mouth, and yet they still had the same peanut buttery flavor that we all love. They were advertised by Bart Simpson, which added to their immediate popularity. However, this beloved candy was discontinued in 2006.
Oh wow.
There are many people that keep hoping for its return. In the 90s, physical media was still very much a thing. Cassette tapes were still lingering around, but it was the compact disc that ruled the market.
CDs,
the downside of CDs was how easily they scratched. This could render some albums unplayable if they were scratched too badly. Sony came out with a solution to the problem, and it was the mini disc. They were smaller than a CD, and it was a little disc that was encased so it would remain protected.
So I did grow up in, I guess, the era of CDs. Yeah, I did grow up in the era of CDs, and it used to bug me a lot when they were scratched and they wouldn't play a song, or like the song would stop halfway because it was too scratched, I don't know, to continue. Yeah, we never saw this though, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't know if it came to the UK, did it? Let me know in the comments below if you know, but I don't recognise that at all.
The mini disc was popular in Japan, but it didn't quite catch on in the global market.
Oh,
record labels did not release as much on this new format, so it left very little for consumers to buy.
Okay.
The other issue was that the mini discs were twice as expensive as CDs.
Oh, wow.
When the MP3 players became available, the mini discs were on their way out.
Yeah.
The 1990s was a popular decade for clear drinks. You may remember Crystal Pepsi or Clear Coca-Cola, which was in a certain market, but there were many others. Even the alcoholic beverage industry wanted to get in on this clear action. Coors Brewing got in on this trend in 1994 with the release of Zima. This was a clear malt beverage that was intended to be an alternative to beer.
Okay.
Coors tried hard to market this new drink to men, but somehow it never quite caught on with them. However, they found a lot of success with women. It remained popular for a while, but sales eventually dipped, and Coors discontinued Zima in North America in 2008. The beverage remained popular in Japan until 2021.
Oh well, that's quite recent, 2021. Japan seemed to be ahead of things on this.
Most of our devices today have a sleep function to conserve power and prevent screen burnouts. But in the 90s, we had a screensaver that you would see in many homes and businesses. It was the Windows 95 3D Maze, and it was pretty mesmerizing. It was like watching a computer play a video game, as it would automatically make turns until it found a smiley face. At that point, it would reset and generate a whole new maze.
Oh my gosh.
If Microsoft had been smart, they would have made a full-fledged game out of it. Today, we hardly ever hear anything about America Online or AOL unless we are talking about some days gone by. But in the 90s, AOL ruled the world, and mass amounts of people were going online for the very first time. Everyone became curious about chat rooms and AOL Instant Messenger. AIM, as it was called, was first introduced in 1997, and it became the most popular messaging service in North America for about a decade.
Oh, wow.
When tech giants like Google and Facebook started to take over, it rendered AIM almost useless.
So I think the UK version, we had MSN, like the messaging service. We had MSN. My older sister, set me up on MSN when I was 13. My mum didn't know, and I felt like such a cool person. I felt so cool.
These newer companies were offering better services and security. AIM began shutting down features a little at a time, but they hung in there for a little while longer until Verizon acquired them in 2015.
Okay.
In 2017, AIM ceased operations. PB Crisp was a uniquely different snack that came
Peanut
from the
butter
Planters
crisps?
Peanut Company.
Oh, okay.
It was a sweet treat in the shape of a peanut, and these cookies were filled with peanut butter inside.
Oh, wow.
They not only offered this version, but you could also purchase these tasty snacks with chocolate or strawberry on the inside.
James will like
Sadly,
those.
these special treats were not on store shelves very long thanks to low demand. So now the
Oh.
PB Crisps are a relic of the mid-1990s.
Interesting.
But who knows, maybe the Planters Company will give them another try someday.
Wow.
Orbitz was sort of a lava lamp looking
Orbitz,
beverage
I feel
that
like I
hit
know
the
that.
market in the 90s and was unlike any other drink. It was non-carbonated and it came in a small variety
Oh,
of
it's a
flavors,
drink.
which was supposed to quench your thirst and hunger. The little beads on the inside were interesting to look at, but it left many consumers confused as to what exactly it was. Orbitz had a seriously short life and it never really caught on.
So we have like these little the ball things in there, and they're called Orbeez, and they're like for playing and like for sensory play, like with your fingers and stuff. Crazy.
Remember the Y2K panic? The buzz around this event started taking place a couple years before the year 2000. In 1999, it really started picking up steam. Many people thought that the world was going to end, all because our computers would not be able to tell what year it was.
Okay.
This caused many people to stock up excessively on batteries, food, water, and other necessities. For those that had a VCR in the 80s, we knew full well that the date did not matter. It was still going to operate, but the date just might not match up.
Okay.
Regardless of what you thought, we all stayed up to see what would happen, and we were all relieved when it was just another hoax. Most screens in the 1990s and before were created using CRT or cathode ray tube technology, and the computer screens of the decade were no exception. They were big, bulky monitors that sat on our desk and took up a lot of room. This is
They're
how
so
many of
bulky,
us
aren't they?
experienced the computer world. But since that time, we have moved on to plasma, LCD, and OLED monitors. These are cheaper, thinner, and have larger screens than the old monitors did.
Okay.
Kids have been enjoying playground games for years and years.
Yep.
Many of these old games have come and gone, but the 1990s definitely had a big one. Milk caps or pogs became extremely popular, and soon kids were collecting all sorts of different pogs.
Okay.
The object of the game was for players to stack cardboard discs with pictures printed on them, which had anything from cartoons to different logos.
Oh.
Then a larger disc called a slammer was used to knock down as many pogs as possible. If you knocked them down, then you got to keep them. Many
Oh, wow.
schools thought this was a form of gambling, and it led to the ban of pogs at school. Technically, this is still around, but it is a far cry of how popular it used to be.
Wow.
In the 1990s, a lot of people were still using physical encyclopedias. But we did have something else available long before we had Wikipedia. It was a computer-based encyclopedia called Encarta, and it was launched in 1993.
Never heard of that.
Originally, it was packaged in a DVD form, and it was updated yearly.
Oh.
This software contained thousands of topics on a variety of information. The Encarta not only included text, but there were also pictures, videos, and even trivia games. When the rise of online encyclopedias began to take over, it led to Microsoft discontinuing the Encarta in 2009.
Ah, I've never heard of that.
Whether or not you watch Family Matters, you certainly knew who Steve Urkel was if you were around in the 1990s. He was a staple of television and everyone was quoting him. Did I do that? This lovable character became so popular that they released a doll in his image.
Oh, wow.
If you pulled a string, he would say some of his signature catchphrases. When the show went off the air, Urkel and his doll were nothing more than a memory.
Oh, wow.
Even though the 90s are now long gone, we will always have our memories of how it used to be. Many of these things shaped our future. What are some of the things that you miss most from the 19...
Let me know in the comments below what your thing is that you miss the most from the 1990s. Yeah, I feel like, I know I was born in it, but obviously I was only like not even one for the whole year. So that these don't really apply to me. But a few of them I knew. I think a lot of them might just be on one side of the pond. I'm not sure if they made its way over to the UK. Let me know in the comments below if you do know that, if you're from the UK, or if you just do know that in general. But yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day.